Hi everyone, it's Jeremy here. I want to do a special video that was requested of me a few times, and I told a couple people I would get along to making this kind of video, and here I am. So the video I kind of want to cover today is, a lot of people ask, what type of figure do I want? Like, who do I want to make my figure? Now there's another thing I wanted to cover too, the best beginner event figures, so I'll jump into that first here. So let's see. So a lot of people start ventriloquism with the basic pull string dolls. So this one's a Danny O'Day I snagged at a Goodwill. So I know these guys have a pull string in the back, and you pull that, and the mouth moves. Typically, they only move the mouth, the head does not move. Yeah, the head doesn't move. Yeah. So that's Danny O'Day basic figure. Usually you get those for about $50, but I wouldn't expect to go on stage and seriously use them. They're more to learn ventriloquism and, you know, learn the mouth movement and syncing the mouth movement with your ventriloquism. I have another video on how to cover ventriloquism. It's a rather old video, but it still holds up. Now, you may figure your basic doll doesn't do a lot of movement, and you may send them in to get upgraded, or you may buy an upgrade right off their shelf. Throwthings.com does great upgrades. The upgrades are covered by a couple of different people. There's Throwthings, there's Braylu, B-R-A-Y-L-U, Braylu. Or Steve Berry is another good one. Steve Berry's a little more expensive than the other two, but he does awesome work, and he makes your character original too if you want him to. This guy is a super deluxe character from Thrill Things. Oh man, you still got me on video. Yeah. So yes, this is still Johnny. He's a Mortimer Snerd super deluxe character. Oh, yeah, Mortimer's my grandpa. So I'm going to show you the head stick on how these guys work. These guys are wonderful starter puppets. Let's see if I can get the head stick out first of all. Typically, head sticks can be pretty monstrous to get out of the body. What puppet you got? Here we go. Almost got her. Got her. Let's get that, wraggle it out. Okay. So here's what the head stick typically looks like on a super deluxe character. So, you got the mouth on this little V-shaped trigger. It's a nice, comfortable wood trigger. Makes the mouth move with the pull of your finger. They're used on your index. Throw Things, as far as I know, can also do left-handed ones. Vent figures are usually made in a right-hand format. The eye trigger is next to that. So there's the eyes going back and forth. They self-center on these models. And the eye is just that little wooden bead. You push it side to side. And then there's the moving eyebrows. Super deluxe models have the eyebrows. And it's just that little brass trigger there at the cord. These guys run around 350, 360. I believe they've gone up a little bit in price in the recent years. This guy that I have originally started off as a basic doll, and we sent him in to get upgraded, and he became a standard upgrade, which is about 140 something, and they only move the head and the mouth, and they usually have the molded hair still. We sent him in one last time to get the super deluxe. When they upgrade the puppet, you get a hard, solid body. So the body is typically made of wood. You see inside there. And it's made of wood, and they're padded, they're comfortable. If you have a very large hand, these guys might be kind of hard to use and handle. I'll put his head on later so you don't see me struggle on video. Be over. Now, those are the beginner dolls. I want to cover now a couple of different types of characters. I'm only covering hard figures, and I'll cover soft puppets because I have more softs than hards. I like either, but it depends on your personal taste and how much you travel. And so, without further ado, this is the first pro figure that I ever got. Oh God, what are you doing on video? This guy is George. He's my Dan Pays puppet. He's made by Dan Pays Puppetry of Fresno, California, I believe he lives in. And yeah. So typically on professional puppets, you can request extra animations, and they typically have a unique look to them, and they look beautiful, especially on stage. You should see the quality that is put into these guys. So I'm going to take the head stick off the bodies, or take the head off the body so you can see the head stick. It's very easy to take a Dan Pays body from the head. Usually. Mine's got a lot of triggers though, so. Dan Pays doesn't typically do a lot of triggers. Mine has a pretty unusually high amount. I do a couple extra surprise things during the show. So, here's the typical Dan Pays head stick. So it's a thick wood dowel, really nice. They don't typically come with headlocks. You can easily do that yourself by drilling a cup hook into there and drilling a cup hook at the bottom of the body and using binders or springs to hold it on. So typically on a Dan Pays you got the index finger for the mouth. Nice basic thing. And then the eyes with the thumb on the back there. So it works like a teeter-totter. It's like car blinkers. You pull them down for toward you and push it up for away. Some figures have that the opposite way. You push it up for toward you. Some of them. So mine has two extra animations. This one does the raising eyebrows, operated by my thumb. Nice smooth movement. And then this one right here, stick out tongue. So that's a fun little extra. Some extra animations you can really only use once a show for it to be effective and for it to remain funny. Now I have a little trick here on Dan Pays puppets. A lot of people don't like how you can't move one of the extra features with the eyes. And so I made up what I call the finger dance. I pull the extra movement and I use my index finger off the mouth for a bit to move the eyes. Not a lot of people do that. A lot of people move the eyes. He says something, sticks the brows up, continues saying something, maybe sticks the brows up while saying something. Yada yada. I'm really dragging on here. So I'm going to show you the body on a Dan Pays. So Dan Pays puppets, typical wooden bodies. You really don't want to take the clothes off. The necks are aligned so the head moves very smoothly. If you can see into there, there's wooden ribs in there made out of dowels and just soft material in the front. The hands are very hard material made out of a resin, and they're painted. Everything's handmade on these. The more toyish dolls are factory made. These guys are hand done. There's no machinery involved except, you know, the power tools used to do that. Oh, and mine has an arm rod as well. So I'm gonna put him back in his body. Lift all these levers up. On Dan Pays, you gotta flip the eye lever up to get him in and out of the body, or the eye lever will hit the neck hole. When you take the heads on and off of ventriloquist puppets, you have to watch the levers so you don't jam them. This next guy is on the higher end of the price range on hard puppets. This guy is done by Albert Alfaro of Imaginarium Galleries.
Oh yeah, Imaginarium, what?
yeah, so his name's Sheldon. He's a geeky character in my shows, but more about the puppet. So, my Alfaro has moving mouth, moving eyes, and blinkers, if you can see them moving there through his geeky glasses. So I'll show you the head stick real quick. This is how Albert does his head sticks. Albert, you gotta be a little more careful with the levers than a Dan Pays, because Albert uses what's called direct linkage, meaning there's no cords used on the puppet. So, here's the mouth done with this brass trigger. Very, very smooth movement. I put this little pencil grip on there because at one point I burnt my thumb and I didn't have a fingerprint for a while, and so my hand was slipping off, or my thumb was slipping off. And then you got the eyes on front with the middle finger. Some people use the index, but I like to use the other animations with it. And then you got the blinkers on that lever. Just goes straight up and down. Very nicely made figure. Now, something you should know about Albert Alfaro, he doesn't do ventriloquist figures every year, I find. I know a lot about him I know a little bit about him. Because his main thing that he does is the drabbits. He makes these wonderful cable puppets, and I have one I should show you at some point. They sit on your shoulder, and you press the button, and you move it around, and his head looks around, and you can nod. And so Albert doesn't do this every year. He's going to be at this year's convention, from what I've heard. I'm not promising, but I've heard it from other people, with a whole line of figures. So if you don't know what the Van Haven Convention is, it's down in Hebron, Kentucky. It's at a big hotel. Yeah, yes, it's in a hotel. And it's basically a big get-together for about 500, 600 ventriloquists. That's usually the number every single year. There's workshops, which are classes. There's the dealer's rooms where you can buy puppets. Me and my partner, Max Echo, have started creating hard figures, and I don't want to reveal anything yet, but you'll be seeing some stuff pretty soon here on YouTube. After July. I'm sorry. But, yeah, so we're going to be doing on the more economic end of hard figures. Oh, that's something I didn't talk about. So typically, Dan Pays figures start at $4.95. Mine is worth about $900 with all the extras on them. Extra animations will cost extra, and he has a custom hair color, which costed, I don't think that cost anything. So Dan Pays is range from $500 to $800 on average, which is not bad for ventriloquist puppets. Albert Alfaro's are on the higher price range. They start around $1,300, $1,400 for a full-size figure. Sheldon here is a 42-inch figure, which is Albert's biggest size. And, you know, they run anywhere from $1,300 to $1,700, $1,800. Sheldon was $1,500. Now, something I want to show you before I let you go here. I'll be covering soft puppets soon. My buddy Charles Prouty makes wonderful soft puppets. They're big enough to be seen on stage very, very well. This is George's wife.
I don't even care. I don't think they care either.
And I'm sure you've seen her video at one point. But he does these wonderful soft puppets. Look at the detail he put in her face and her assets.
I know you're all looking.
So I wanted to give my buddy Charles a shout out because he does a wonderful job. His puppets started around 400, 500, I believe. He's kind of starting out, but you can see how great he already is. And I'm not sure of his high ranges. Now another one I wanted to talk about a couple other makers that I do not own creations from. First one I want to talk about is Tim Selberg. I have one on the way. I ordered one, which will take a while. He's known for having long wait times, but it's pretty worth it. His price range is the highest out of any figures you find today. They start around 1800 and they run to around $3 grand, depending on how many extra animations you get. Mine's gonna be about $3 grand. And the great thing about professional figures is that they can do almost anything you can imagine. You gotta ask the creator what they can do and what they recommend. I mean, some of them just move their mouth, some move their mouth and eyes, some of them can move their mouth, their upper lip can go, their tongue can stick out, their nose can sniff the air, their ears can flap like that. I'm working on one that does that. Their eyes can cross, their eyebrows can go up or down like a mad look. There's a lot they can do. Sometimes, you know, in their body there could be a trigger for them to shake your hand. Some of them can spit, they can pee, some can sweat. I seen one that can, you know, I'm not gonna say it. You'll have to message me that one. But yeah. Ven figures are an absolutely wonderful thing. They're a big investment. Even if you're a ventriloquist, they are an investment. They cost a lot of money. Be prepared for your wallet to take a pounding, but I'm telling you, ventriloquism is the best thing I've ever done. And I highly recommend at least trying it out if you were thinking about it, because you may find you really, really like it. Ooh, and there's also something I want to show you. Okay, so I was out antiquing. Yes, I do that. And I found this absolutely wonderful thing. I was shocked when I found it. Now, it was in very bad shape. I'm working on restoring it, and it's not fully restored yet. So you have to understand it might be a little bit creepy looking for some people. But he's this toy ventriloquist figure from the 1930s. His name is Willie Talk. This guy is not a super common one to come around. So, without further ado, I'm very proud to have found this guy, because antique figures look pretty different than modern day ones. Here he is. He's not fully restored.
Golly gee, what's that thing?
That's a camera.
Really?
Yeah.
Geez, I remember cameras being much bigger.
Say, Willie, was life black and white?
Well, with yours said it was.
Well, anyway. So, I'd like to show you how this guy works. Just be warned, he doesn't look super pretty right now. So this guy has a cardboard head stick. This is how they used to be done way back then. He only has a moving mouth, and to operate his mouth, it's this little ring pull here. Or he has this ring pull on the back of his neck, which does the same animation. So yeah, this guy's a very interesting puppet. And here's his body. Very old body. I'm going to show you this. His pants are falling down. So I kind of want to show this. He has this little piece in the bottom that holds his head stick. His head stick only goes, his head only moves side to side like this. It does not do this. It's a cardboard body. So in the front, it's made of cardboard and composition. Has a little safety pin there to hold his little sailor outfit on. This outfit is original from the 30s. And he has his original shoes from the 30s. His hands, for some reason, are made of cloth. So, I'm very proud to have found this guy. So if you're a beginning collector of ventriloquist figures, you never know what you can find. So, he's still in bad shape. I haven't had much of a chance to do stuff on him because I do figure making and I've been busy with it. I hope you've seen the video with Bernie. This guy came with a catalog to order a figure from the 30s, and he also came with a How to Do Ventriloquism packet from 1937 by Adolf Long.
Adolf, look, I remember that guy. Oh man, he was always putting words in my mouth.
Thanks everyone for watching. I wanted to show you a little bit of my collection. I have a lot more puppets than this, and I might show off the entire collection one of these days. So anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. Expect more videos soon.